So scary. Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Amber. Just in case you didn't know, thank you so much for joining me today. As you can see, I am back on the floor because I have not cleaned my room because I am lazy and I don't feel like it. Sorry. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Today's video is not going to be so happy-go-lucky and not as funny or as fun as my other videos because today is May 1st, and if you don't know what May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And personally to me, I think the awareness of mental health and mental illnesses is very important. But yeah, I don't really know how to start this out. Alright, so I'm back. I've kind of thought about on how I'm going to start this. I'm still really nervous about it, but hey, all's well that ends well. Basically, I guess I'll go back to when it started, I guess. Or actually, let's talk about some different things. Yeah, alright. There are many different kinds of mental disorders. Obviously, as you guys all know, there's ones that are caused by birth defects, which I don't understand why people make jokes about those. They're not funny. I still don't understand. Let's not get me started on that one. I will rant. There's of course anxiety disorders, depressive disorders, there's eating disorders, which are of course, physical and mental disorders that, I don't know. There's fears, which can be counted as mental disorders if they're irrational enough. There's a lot of different mental disorders, and there's a lot of different ways people cope with them. There's a lot of ways they can happen, they can form, and I don't think anyone should personally be judged for having a mental disorder or for how they were formed or for how they cope with them, because it's their own personal decision, it's their life, it's their problem, and it's not something to be joked about. And I don't understand why it's such a humorous thing to some people. I don't know. So I guess I'll start off with talking about how it all started for me and why I'm making this video, because I have personally battled with depression, anxiety, body image issues, a slight eating disorder. I wasn't the happiest person for a very long time, but at my current state, I am very happy with myself. For the most part, I think everyone is insecure about something, but I am mostly happy with myself and I am at a good place in my life. And this video is simply just to talk about things I've gone through in the past and why I think it's so important for people to not bottle themselves up, not let themselves just explode, basically, because I don't know, I'm getting short breath. I'm so scared. So I was a pretty happy kid. I didn't really have anything wrong with me as a kid. I haven't had a bad life, and I don't want people to think that at all. I do not think I've had a bad life. I have always had a good living situation, a good family, a loving mom, a loving sister, friends. I've never had a bad life, but I have been in bad mental states that, of course, kind of push all of that aside. But alright, so I'll start with what I know started it all. Ever since I was little, I wanted to go into the modeling industry. I wanted to be a model. I wanted to be like a runway, fashion star. That's all I wanted. I wanted to go to New York, be a fashion model, and just live a dream, And around 7th grade is whenever that all kind of started to become possible for me, and I wanted to make sure it was very, very, very possible for me. So the first time I went to my modeling agency, I was 12 years old. And since I was a kid, they didn't really care about my body size because but I think I was around a size 8 in middle school, maybe a 6, 8. I know in 8th grade I got up to a size 8, and I will get into that later, but I think in 7th grade I was around a size 6, but I got into an agency, I got signed, and I started going to classes where I started learning more about the industry as a whole, and I still have these numbers memorized. To be a fashion model, your measurements have to be 34, 24, 34. Your your chest has to be 34 inches, your waist is supposed to be 24, and your hips are supposed to be 34. And I was like, oh, so that's all it is, like you just have to lose weight. And I never really stressed about it until I got to go to New York for the first time to be in a fashion show, not a fashion show, a showcase, to audition in front of agencies and try and get a sign, and I didn't get any callbacks. And I didn't understand why. I didn't even go up there for modeling, I went there for acting, and I was just like, I can't even act with the size I am now. Mark, I was probably a size 8 around here. This was like the middle of my 8th grade year. And all throughout 7th grade, going to that agency, I was never pushed to lose weight. That agency has never pushed me to lose weight. I just want to make that very clear. It's not the industry that pushes the models to lose weight. Most of the time. Everyone I've experienced, everyone who I have come into contact with and talked with have never been like yelly, like you have to lose weight. I want to make that very clear. Of course, there are some agencies that do, there's some things that do, just because that's just how the job works, which sucks. 8th grade, around the end of it, is whenever I realized that to be a model, I do have to lose weight. And that realization hit me way too hard, way too fast, and I took it way too personally, and I just basically lost it. For like 4 months, I think, after going to New York, all I ate every day was 3 protein bars. I had a protein bar for breakfast, one for lunch, and one for dinner, which is around 600 calories a day. That summer I got in with a personal trainer. I told her that's what I've been eating, and she said that's borderline like anorexia. And that summer is the year I decided to go vegetarian, and that summer was literally the peak of my life. Like, I was so happy because I was healthy, I had just had a new lifestyle that I loved, I was going into high school, which was really cool for me, and I just was really excited to get into where I was. And over that year I went from like 170 pounds to 135, which is around like a size 4 for me. I think I had just gotten into a size 2, but yeah, I was a size 4, and then the holidays hit and I started like gaining weight because, you know, whenever the holidays hit, you start going to parties, you start going to family dinners, and you eat more than you're used to, more than your body's used to, and it causes you to gain weight a little bit, which isn't bad at all. Really, just your heart will always be chubby. Make your heart happy on the holidays, please. Yeah, and that really depressed me, and I don't really want to get too into depth about this because it is very personal to me, but I did kind of started delving into a eating disorder around this time, and that went on for about a year and a half, probably 2 years, and I finally told my mom about it. I still really want to be a model at this point, and me and her both decided, like, okay, if we tell anyone, like, medical related that this is a problem, like, agencies won't want to touch me. We didn't bother it, and that stuck with me for about another year. And that next year, I had gotten my first boyfriend, which, who really supported me through all of this. I was still trying to get into the modeling industry, but I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with how I had to live my life, but as I'm sure some of you know, whenever you get into a relationship, you start going on dates with them, you start going out to eat more, they start buying you candy, and you kind of gain some weight when you're in a relationship. You know, you gain some comfort weight. So I had been good about my whole eating thing for a while, and then I started dating this boy, and I gained a little bit of weight, and I just kind of went full circle. And I told this boy about it. He was really supportive about it. After a while, we ended up breaking up. I was really upset about it because, you know, like, I lost my first love, aww. Not having the support I had whenever he was around, I got really sad. And that is whenever my mom was finally like, okay, we need to get you some treatment, some help. We need to help you in some way. So, and that's basically put me into last year. Yeah, that's exactly the last year. And I started getting help and reaching out more. I don't know where to go from here. Last summer, I was really happy because I had just gotten all these new friends. I was hanging out with all new people. I was going out every day. I was hanging out with people. And I was really happy. And I gained more weight. I don't know if this is going to be a relatable topic or not, but I have really bad anxiety too. That's something important to point out. And usually whenever I get stressed out, I eat. And I was so stressed about my weight, and whenever I got stressed, I would stress eat, which would cause me to gain more weight, and then I get more stressed about me gaining weight, and then I'd eat more. It's not a good, like, cycle. All that happened, and I just wasn't happy for a very long time. With, like, all new friends, I would talk to some of them about some of my problems, about me being upset, and I started getting made fun of for how I coped with my different problems, how I coped with everything in my life. Some of these people that I used to hang out with, that would just be a joke to them. And it kind of made me really insecure about talking about my feelings. So I started bottling everything up. I stopped talking to my therapist about it. I stopped talking to my friends about it. I stopped talking to my mom, my sister, everyone. And I just kept to myself. And to everyone, I was happy and I was good. And I was great and there was nothing wrong. And it killed me. And I feel like that it's just such a common problem for people to have a fear of going out and just saying how you feel, because people judge, people are horrible, people are mean, people are disgusting. The amount of times, even now, I still get jokes. There's a fear called isophobia, and I want to make a completely separate video talking about this because I think it's such like an interesting topic, but isophobia is the fear of being abandoned or being alone. My entire life has been filled with people coming and going, and over this past year, I've been so scared of being abandoned. If anyone is even acting slightly different to me, I panic. Because I'm just like, what if they leave too? But it really stressed me out, and I became very, very, very attached to people who weren't ready for me to be attached to them, because I was scared that I was going to be alone. Because I've gone through multiple points in my life where I felt like I didn't have any friends, no one liked me, no one cared about me, no one wanted me there, and I would think to myself all the time, what would change if I wasn't here? And I would tell myself, nothing. That was a constant thought in my head, that if you weren't here, no one would notice, no one would care. I recently have been going out and talking to people and just kind of being open with how I feel, and I've been getting so much love, so much support, and I'm in a good mindset right now. And I had a friend who told me that I am young, as I'm sure you are if you're watching this. We're young, and we're still growing, and even as we grow into old age, as we grow up, other people are growing with us, and some people grow up to grow apart, to grow into other people who will make them happier. Growing up is not easy, that's all I'm gonna say. Especially whenever you have to deal with your worst enemy being yourself. That is a good summary of my experience with mental disorders, and there have been so many times where people have told me, you're just overreacting, you were just overthinking, you're just you're just being a girl, you know? Like you're just being over emotional. It's an actual fear of being alone, of being hated, of hating yourself. I'm happy that I was able to kind of climb myself out of it with the help of my friends, family, and some other people along the way. Yes, I guess that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe down below, and yeah, that's it. I love you. Bye.